Assalamualaikum and a very good evening I bid to everyone. So for today's presentation is about creative accounting. So this is our team, which is first Dini and me, Mardhiah. So next I will pass to Dini.
Okay, for the definition of creative accounting is methods of recording financial information about a company which are legal but do not show the registration clearly, usually making the company to seem more successful. Okay, masuk kat sini penggunaan kaedah iaitu merekod maklumat kewangan tentang syarikat yang dia yang sah tetapi tidak menunjukkan keadaan yang sebenar dengan jelas. Dan biasanya menjadikan syarikat untuk kelihatan lebih berjaya daripada yang sebenarnya, yang betul. Okay. For the second point is financial statement or accounts give information that interested parties can use to evaluate managers' performance and make economic decision. Okay. Untuk poin kedua ni, penyata kewangan atau account memberikan maklumat yang boleh digunakan oleh pihak yang berminat untuk menilai prestasi pengurus kat situ, dan dia juga membuat keputusan dari segi ekonomi. Pengguna juga mungkin menganggap bahawa maklumat kewangan yang diberikan dalam penyata kewangan tu atau dokumen sokongan yang dia beri tu adalah boleh dipercayai atau sesuai untuk digunakan. Okay, for the second point is accounting rules and regulation try to ensure that accurate, consistent and timely information is produced and distributed to the intended user. Jadi dalam peraturan per-account dia cuba memastikan maklumat yang tepat, konsisten dan tepat pada masa yang dihasilkan. So dalam ni dia akan edarkan pada pengguna yang dia masukkanlah untuk bagi dia punya financial information dia. Okay, for the next slide. Okay, for the objective of creative accounting, first one is the increased profit, which is the objective is increase profit inflated asset value, understate the liabilities and overstate the shareholder and they overstate the shareholder raises. Okay, shareholder value, sorry. Okay, for the second point is management motivation. It is because the motivation of management and accountant is typically being bonuses. They have to give the promotion and the salary, which is raises. Okay, for the third point is seeking promotion, which is in this, most managers and accountant will perform and give a role for 2 or 3 years before they're seeking the promotion. It is in this, the period of they will have a motivated to show the increase in profitability. Okay, for the fourth is the takeover and acquisition, which is they create opportunity for creative accounting, which is in the year for the takeover, the new management and the accountant have to bias, which is to show the similar picture, which is mean like low profits and inflated provision. Okay, in the years proceeding to take over, the asset can be reinflated and provision release. Okay, for the last point is to help negotiation with regulator, which is dia membantu untuk rundingan dengan pengawal selia dia. Okay, the next slide. Okay, how it works. It is allow investor to compare the financial health, which is of the competing with the company. Okay, from this primary benefit of public accounting statement. It also, the firms indulge in creative accounting, they have often distort the value of the information in their financial provide. Okay, for the second is to find the bizarre and novel ways to tweak the figures to a company. Means like cari cara yang pelik dan baru untuk mengubah suai dia punya angka untuk bagi kelebihan kepada syarikat tu, untuk naikkan balik syarikat dia punya kelebihan. Okay, in their goal is to make a firm look as successful and profitable as possible, and sometimes they will go about doing this to twice think the truth, which is they will grade the area in accounting, then they have found and it may be exploited even the result is misleading the investor. Okay, for the second point is getting caught can ruin a company reputation overnight. From this, some management teams are willing to run the risk condoning to the use of the creative accounting because their failure to do the meet short-term expectation. For the fourth is worth remembering more attractive figures may lead to the higher bonus for director. Okay, from this, some management team are willing to run that risk and then they use the creative accounting because they have failed to meet the short-term expectation. And the next is they have the convince a lender to give a firm and a loan, which is they inflate the company valuation in the event of a sale. Okay, for the next slide. Okay, for the types of creative accounting. First one is the overestimating the revenue, which is in this one of the most common technique used by the public companies looking for the artificial boost their income is the prematurely recognized by revenue. Second is the lowering depreciation charge, which is the company will often to spread out the cost of asset rather than the expensing them in a one hit, which is their method to reduce the annual charge on this item just can include their extend the useful life, which is they estimate the asset and then they increase in their salvage value. Okay, for the third point is their delaying the expenses, which is their deferring the recording, which is their current period expenses, which such as the payment to supplier and the rent, which is the subsequent period, makes the current period earning look better. Okay, for the fourth is the masking contingent liability, which is in this, their failure to record the potential liability. Then they are likely to occur that and they will underestimating how much they are likely to cost and then they can boost net income or the shareholder equity. Okay, so fifth is the undervaluing pension liability. Means that pension obligation can easily be manipulated because the liability occurs in the future and the company. Okay, the last point is inventory manipulation. Means the value of goods that were manufactured but not yet sold, but overstating the value of inventory will lead to an understatement of the cost of goods sold. Okay, next I will pass to Mardhiah.
Right, thank you, Dini. So for the next part is the common methods of creative accounting. So maksudnya cara yang banyak digunakan lah dalam industri. So the first one is manipulation dalam off balance sheet financing item. So basically company ni tend to manipulate diorang punya balance sheet to make sure that the company punya financial statements tu nampak healthy. And the second one is changes in accounting policies and depreciation methods. Macam Dini terangkan tadi, dia menukarkan depreciation tu. Maksudnya supposedly dia bayar depreciation tu banyak ni, tapi dia orang nak make sure dia orang tak perlu bayar lebih untuk apa depreciation tu. So dia orang tukar depreciation methods tu. And then manipulation of other income and expense items. Biasanya kaedah ni pun banyak juga digunakan dalam company. And then changes in the value of money, overestimation of revenues by recording fictitious sales revenue. So basically overestimate revenue ni banyak sangat digunakan. Sebagai contoh, kalau kita tengok Enron punya skandal. So basically Enron punya skandal ni dia jatuh pun disebabkan oleh diorang punya manager yang overestimate revenue. Maksudnya revenue tu dia tak dapat pun lagi, dia tak earn pun lagi revenue tu, tapi diorang dah masukkan dalam diorang punya financial statement, which is lead to diorang punya bankruptcy lah sebab banyak sangat difference dengan yang sebenar. And then manipulation of receivables write-offs and also manipulation of accruals. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of creative accounting. So for the advantages, it helped companies to set required parameters. So maksudnya dengan adanya creative accounting ni, managers of the company, diorang akan set required parameters yang diorang kena follow. So benda ni sebenarnya boleh dikatakan sebagai advantage lah. So managers and then diorang punya workers pun akan work hard untuk diorang capai apa yang diorang dah set out tu. Tetapi diorang punya disadvantages pula, dia akan membuatkan companies tu berada pada high risk disebabkan oleh, sebagai contoh lah, kalau company tu tidak mencapai sasaran yang diorang nak, so benda tu akan menyebabkan companies tu macam high risk lah. And what if kalau investors tu dah invest this amount of money, so dekat sini dia akan menyebabkan companies tu berada pada high risk. And then the second advantages is to show how smooth and good growing graph of companies. So bila adanya creative accounting ni, dia akan nampak yang company ni macam bagus lah kan, sebab bila ni dia nampak graph tu grow je. Tetapi dia punya disadvantages boleh menyebabkan reputational risk. Sebagai contohnya, kalau company tu sebenarnya tak bagus pun kan, tapi bila dia apply creative accounting ni yang terlalu banyak, so dia menyebabkan macam buatkan company tu nampak macam tak bagus lah, sebab supposedly dia orang punya profit banyak ni je tapi dia orang buat profit dia banyak ni, so menyebabkan company tu ada reputasi yang buruk. And then the last advantages dia ialah investors may be hopeful by seeing future gains. So bila ada creative accounting ni, company tu bolehlah bagi tahu dekat investors yang dengan investment banyak ni akan dapat profit yang banyak ni, banyak ni, banyak ni. Tetapi dia punya disadvantages pula boleh menyebabkan loss of investors, sebab kalau diorang tak dapat pun profit yang diorang dah janjikan kepada investors tu, so nanti investors tu akan lost diorang punya trust lah dekat company tu. So that's why creative accounting ni boleh menyebabkan company tu lost diorang punya investors. So this is the real world case yang melibatkan creative accounting, which is kita orang ambil example from Enron scandal. So Enron scandal ni pada 1990s, it is one of the country's most innovative company, sebab at that time diorang dah banyak run business yang sangat-sangat dikatakan maju lah pada waktu tu, sebab tahun 1990 kan. So kalau ada company yang dah ada invention yang maju, so dia dikatakan maju lah. And then besides buying and selling gas and electricity futures, it created whole new markets for such oddball commodities as broadcast time and then weather futures and also internet bandwidth. So as a result, dengan diorang punya kemajuan ni, pada tahun 2000, diorang punya shares skyrocket at $19.50, which is sangat-sangat tinggi lah pada waktu tu, pada tahun 2000 tu, dengan satu share diorang harga dia $90. And then bila masuk tahun 2001, ada salah seorang daripada employees dalam Enron tu sendiri, dia jadi whistleblower lah. And then it was revealed that its reported financial condition was sustained substantially by institutionalized, systematic and creatively planned accounting fraud. And then because of that, Enron reported massive losses, and diorang sendiri admit that diorang has been inflating its income, and lastly diorang filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy with stock close at only 26 cents. So dekat sini nampak bila diorang terlalu kreatif kan dalam diorang punya accounting, so benda ni sebenarnya telah memakan company diorang sendiri. And then last kali pada tahun 2002, Enron ni dia suspended from New York Stock Exchange. So the past year question, accounting scandals happen because there is pressure to meet short-term market expectation in terms of financial and share price performance. Consequently, many companies such as Enron, WorldCom, Parmalat resorted to the practice of creative accounting. So required explain 4 motivations why management may prefer to practice creative accounting. So dia kata 8 markah. So this is our answer. So 8 markah contributed to 4 points, which is the first point, management desires to receive bonus. And then the bonus is based on profits. Hence, the higher the profit, the higher the bonus. Tadi Dini ada terangkan kenapa management ni prefer untuk ada creative accounting because diorang ni desires for bonus, desires for short term punya profit. And then the next point is management seeks to pay less tax. So usually government ni dia tax profits. So the more profits, the more tax will be paid to the government. So ada juga management yang pilih untuk rendahkan diorang punya profit sebab diorang tak nak pay out more tax dekat government. And then the third one is business needs loan. Tadi Dini pun dah terangkan objective of creative accounting ni supaya business tu dapat bagi jaminan kepada lender tu. So the less risk perceived by the lender, the lower the interest rate charged by the lender. And the last one is company involved in a management buyout. So when someone is buying a business or shares, they will want to pay the lowest price possible. So generally the value of business is related to its profit. So the higher the profit, the cheaper the price. Alright, so the conclusion is, so basically creative accounting ni banyak diadaptasikan dalam company di seluruh dunia lah. Tetapi dia tidaklah kata creative accounting ni adalah unethical punya practice. Tapi dia boleh jadi unethical bila company tu terlalu gairah untuk sorokkan orang punya revenues, terlalu nak nampak diorang ni lebih bagus, diorang ni nak compete dengan diorang punya competitors ke. So dekat situ yang boleh menyebabkan creative accounting ni tidak bagus lah on that punya side. Tapi actually on short term, creative accounting ni boleh bagi profit lah in short term, tapi for the long term, as what happened to Enron, boleh menyebabkan diorang punya share drop drastically, and then last kali boleh membuatkan diorang ni fall in bankruptcy. So I think that's all from us. Thank you.